Yeah, sorry. Okay, so can we start?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thanks. So, could you please let me know about your previous experiences with different organizations, what and all technologies and services you have worked upon?
Thanks, Deepak. Thanks for the opportunity. Myself, Vishal, and I am having around 5 years of experience in DevOps and cloud. I have worked with several projects that include fintech, payments, healthcare, and the consumer based applications. Coming to my tech stack, I have vastly worked with AWS, Azure, GCP, Docker, Kubernetes, the infra side, the cloud resources. From past couple of years, my more of the concern is on the security side, the automation, and reducing the deployment speed and automating the tasks which have uh, repetitive nature for the other teams and for the DevOps team as well. So like these are the things on which I have worked on day-to-day basis as per my projects.
Okay, so could you please let me know if any P1 or P2 issues you have faced in an existing project?
Not now, but yeah, few months back in one of the project I faced CVRT 1P1 issue where I was the incident commander.
Okay, what was that?
Okay, so what was the thing? Like we have deployments, like we were having the Indian customers, so the Indian customers were impacted, and we have the deployment early morning. So in the second half, during the lunch, we were having the alarms. So I informed the stakeholders. I created a bridge while delegating the investigating task to my team, while I was on the communication bridge with the live updates of exactly what happened, what was the impact, and post the investigation we prepared a post-mortem report our service was again up in 11 minutes and with the number of customers which were impacted, and also making the prevention of these things should not happen again.
Okay, what fix you did?
Okay, so one of the service was failing and it was failing at the readiness probe because we were implementing the readiness and the liveliness for the other of the microservices as well. So one of the code chains, code side port was conflicting to the readiness probe port. So we requested that the software development team to make sure to change that particular port because we want to get unified ports for the other microservices as well. So this was concluded, and post the testing again, we deployed, and the things were working fine and prevented that issue again.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so let's say there is some sort of data into the on-prem, okay, and you need to get this migrated to the cloud AWS. So how can you do that?
Like data, I mean, in sort of which state or which service?
Data. I said you there is a data into the on-prem data center, and that needs to be migrated to the cloud AWS.
Okay, so like it if it is any of the blob storage, we can use uh, backups and then restore. But if it is our deployed live application, we should gradually host the application parallelly
Not
to.
an application, not an application. Let's say there is some data of approx 40 TB or 50 TB, and you need to get it migrated to the cloud AWS.
We can use the lift and shift technique here, particularly for to migrate the data, particularly.
Hey, Sean.
I mean, can you be on the scenario side, like what exactly is the data which is
So
happen?
see, data could be anything. Like it could be archive data, it could be some sort of earlier projects data. Okay, there could be some reporting data. So sort of data could be there, and that may be requiring to get moved.
To
Maybe
AWS.
in yeah, maybe the data into the storage. I can say.
Okay, so I mean, depending on the size of the data, we can shift it.
Have you have you done any sort of migration?
Yes, I have migrated like a legacy application which was running on the on-prem to the Kubernetes or for the
Uh,
AWS. Yeah.
okay, how did you migrate that?
But like we have created the same infra again, like the parallel infra we have. Then we have the volumes, particularly which we have the bound mounts for the services which were running on the on-prem. That same services and the volumes were created on the AWS side. Then we have enabled the synchronization for the data. So, and then we have gradually shifted the traffic which were going to the on-prem to the AWS.
How did you how did you handle the application migration here? Because if you had the application running into the on-prem, I hope that was not running into the Kubernetes. Because legacy application used to work onto the servers, right? So if that was running onto the server, and here you need to get this migrated to the microservices. So which approach you follow to move the application from on-prem to EKS or ECS, whatever you follow?
You mean to say, like, the techniques or the plans, like you're asking for?
Yeah, I would like to know that plans. Basically, I'm interested to know about the technical aspects of it.
Okay, so like, firstly, we provision the infra, which my
No,
application.
infra provisioning, I got it. Okay,
Okay.
you will be deploying the EKS cluster, node, groups, okay, and nodes. Your infra is being ready. You have the access. You got logged in. That is absolutely fine to me. Now the application is live into your server, into the legacy server which you had. Okay, and now you need to get this moved. Okay, you need to work in terms of moving the application from your server to the newly deployed infra.
Hmm. Okay, so like, is it? I got the scenario. Like, is it related to any type of the runtime application dependencies for the network configurations and the application deployment part, or it is like on the networking level for the load
I
balancers?
I I was keen to know about the technical aspects, like how will you get it moved? Okay, fine. Let's leave it. I believe we can move forward, right? So, what and all services you work into the AWS and DevOps?
Okay, so like we have the compute services first. Like, okay, so coming up to the services, we have the VPC, we have the subnets, then we have the EC2 machines, then we have the Route 53, work with the networking part, then work with the elastic cache for any of the caching things. Worked on the ECS side as well, which is the container service. Not if my application is not on the EKS, then work on the CloudWatch, the cloud shield, and then WAF. We have IAMs, and in one of the project I was using Athena as well, but not too much more into Athena. So, but like the DB services, the compute services, the networking services, and the scaling services I have worked with, and like I can work
Okay.
more as per the requirement.
Okay. So, let's say there are approx 500 EC2 instances which are running into AWS environment, and we need to get all of them patched in one day. What could be the right approach to get them patched?
Okay, so like there could be possible scenarios, but if as we are having several of the EC2 instance, I believe we will be having the Terraform modules or the Ansible playbooks for all those virtual machines. So in that, I can write the playbooks for the respective EC2 instances, and then I run the steps, particularly for patching which of the packages or which of the application softwares in that EC2 machine. And post a check, I'll be putting a trigger to notify the users or the groups to, yep, the instance are patched now.
Okay, let's say Ansible is not there. What can we do in that scenario?
Ansible is not there. Like, so I'll be finding out any of the like my instance will be having will be having region wise, so I can write a shell script particularly at the startup file, or I can set a cron job particularly to perform the task on each of the machines, but that will be time taking. But yep, we can do that by this way as well.
Okay, so let's say if you're following any one of these, okay, how will you performing the reboot? For example, you are deploying it through Ansible. Okay, how will you be performing the reboot part? And along with that,
Sorry, can you please come again? Your voice was breaking.
how will be you handling the reboot? Okay, after the patching, you will be required to reboot, right? And another thing is how will you perform the validation? Whether, for example, if you're patching any particular machine, there will be certain like if we say particular like particular grub is being used. Okay, so if it is being upgraded or not upgraded, and like your instance is up and not, so how will you be performing the validation part?
Okay, so like I'm not remembering the exact of particular path of the file, but it depends on whether we are having the like Ubuntu version or what. Then we have the particular reboot file, particularly in the var slash run, I believe, which I did earlier while creating the playbooks or this automation. So like that file is like executed post the patching to get the reboot of that particular server. And for the validation part, once the server is rebooted, I'll be setting up the cron or a batch job particularly to fetch the configuration or the version of the grub or any of the particular package with along its version. And also I'll be enabling the dashboard or any of the metrics so I can check which EC2 server is having which version of which application or which package.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you worked on any of the pipelines as well?
Yes, like in my recent project, I'm working more on the pipeline parts, which is the build, release, and deploy.
Which CI/CD pipeline you're working on?
I have worked majorly on Azure DevOps and Jenkins.
And Jenkins.
Yeah.
Okay. How many types of pipelines we have in Jenkins?
Okay, we have the standalone pipeline, then we have the declarative pipeline.
Okay. Are you sure?
I mean, we have the declarative pipeline, scripted pipeline. I mean, like the standalone pipeline is the scripted pipeline,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, scripted one.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, what are placement groups in EC2?
Sorry.
What are placement groups in EC2?
Placement groups. Okay, like it is like if we are having any of the auto scalers and we want to like it's of for node pools particularly, that is like if any of the new EC2 instance come, it will be coming under this placement group and it will be sharing that particular configurations and properties as defined for that particular placement group.
Are you sure?
Like if we are having the like if we want to isolate a few of the critical R workloads, so those placement groups will be responsible for recreating those particular EC2 instances, or like it is sort of a creating a partition particularly. Like for that we use the placement groups.
What are different types of S3 buckets we have?
What are the different types of S3 buckets? Uh, we have the Glacier. We I'm remembering the Glacier because when we are storing the logs, the hot, warm, and cold, so we move the cool one into the Glacier for the least cost. Then we have the S3 general purpose. I'm not remembering the bucket names, Deepak, but yeah, like we can use the bucket